Okay, we're going to be looking at starting with some sum and difference formulas for this lesson. The concept here is this: I want to find an exact value. So for example, we can find an exact value of a sine or cosine of an angle. We look on our unit circle and we can find the exact value, not an approximation. Okay, so if I want to find something like the sine of 75 degrees, if I do that on my calculator real quick, sine of 75 is about 0.966. Okay, so sine of 75 is 0.966. Okay, well, that's still an approximation. Even though my calculator will give me like 10 digits, that's still an approximation. It's been rounded. Okay, so if I want to find the exact value of the sine of 75, I'd like to go to my unit circle. But on my unit circle, I don't have a 75-degree angle. However, we can make a 75-degree angle by adding 30 degrees with 45 degrees. Okay, so you follow the pattern. So this first one, sine, and you're adding those two angles together to make 75 degrees. So the pattern is sine of u times cosine of v plus cosine u times sine of v. Okay, so in our angle measures here, my 30 degree, that's going to be my u, and my 45 degrees, that's going to be my v. So if I rewrite this, sine of u, so that's going to be sine of 30 degrees times cosine v, so cosine of 45 degrees plus cosine of 30 degrees times sine of 45 degrees. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my unit circle and I'm going to find each of those values. So sine of 30 degrees is 1/2. Cosine of 45 is root 2 over 2. Cosine of 30 is root 3 over 2. And then sine of 45 is root 2 over 2. So multiply those fractions together. I have root 2 over 4 plus square root of 6 over 4. And then square root of 2 plus square root of 6 over 4. Okay, so if you would check the decimal equivalent to square root of 2 plus root 6 over 4, that's going to be the same as the 0.966, but now we have it as an exact value. Okay, so I can find the cosine then of a 75-degree angle, and this time I'm going to use cosine, so u plus v, so 30 plus 45. Again, I'm just going to jot down what the formula is. I'm going to use 30 degrees as my u, 45 degrees as my v. So this pattern is cosine u times cosine v minus sine u times sine v. So this would be cosine of 30 degrees times cosine of 45 degrees minus the sine of 30 degrees sine of 45 degrees. So cosine of 30 is root 3 over 2. Cosine of 45, root 2 over 2. Sine of 30 is 1/2. And sine of 45, root 2 over 2. So this is square root of 6 over 4 minus root 2 over 4, or root 6 minus root 2 all over 4. Okay, again, you could do cosine of 75 degrees and then compare that to the decimal version of this fraction, and you'll see that that's the exact value. Okay, tangent. And again, we're adding 30 plus 45. So if I go back up here, tangent of u plus v Again, my 30 is going to be my u, my 45 is going to be my v. So this is tangent of u plus tangent of v over 1 minus tangent u times tangent v. Okay, so again, I'm just going to plug in. So I'm going to go tangent of 30 degrees plus tangent of 45 degrees over 1 minus tangent of 30 times tangent of 45. Okay, again, go to your unit circle. Tangent of 30 degrees is root 3 over 3 plus tangent of 45 is 1. Then 1 minus tangent of 30 is root 3 over 3, and tangent of 45 is 1. Okay, so root 3 over 3 plus 1, and then denominator 1 minus root 3 over 3. Okay, well, I am going to add these fractions together. So this, I'm going to multiply by 3 over 3. This one, I'm also going to multiply by 3 over 3. Okay, when I simplify that, I'm going to have root 3 plus 3 over 3 all over 3 minus root 3 over 3. Okay, so I went ahead, I kind of did 2 steps there. They're going to have common denominators, so I added in the numerator, and then in the denominator, I did the 3 minus root 3. Okay, so complex fractions, a couple things we know. If they have the same denominator, we can reduce those. Okay, we now have square root of 3 plus 3 over 3 minus root 3. And I'm okay with this answer. Okay, now if you look in the back of the book to check solutions, or if you're taking a SAT test or something, they probably are not going to accept that answer. They're going to want you to rationalize. Okay, so rationalizing with this one, so it's root 3 plus 3 in the numerator, 3 minus root 3 in the denominator. So when you rationalize, you use the conjugate, if you remember what that is, conjugate of the denominator. So it's going to be 3 plus root 3, so 3 plus root 3. Okay, you're going to multiply, so you're going to FOIL. That's going to be 3 root 3. Outsides is 3. Insides is 9. And lasts 3 root 3. Okay, now distribute here. Firsts is 9. Outsides plus 3 root 3. Insides minus 3 root 3. And lasts minus 3. Okay, now remember, this is why we multiply by the conjugate, is because then you get those two terms to cancel each other out. Okay, we have some like terms in the numerator. So we have 3 and 9, that's 12. And then 3 root 3 plus another 3 root 3, so that's 6 root 3 all over 9 minus 3 is 6. Okay, I can factor a 6 out of the numerator, and then those 6's would reduce, and we have 2 plus square root of 3. So tangent of 75 degrees as an exact value is 2 plus square root of 3. Okay, now going on to this next one, right is one trig expression. So basically we're working the other direction. So look at the pattern. You have sine and times cosine minus cosine times sine. So go back up here. And okay, so we got sine times cosine. Sine times cosine. I think we're looking at this statement right here. Sine u times cosine v minus cosine u times sine v. Okay, so that's the same pattern. So what we're really looking for is the sine of u minus v. Okay, so this is the u, this is the v. So sine of u minus v. Okay, or you're looking for the sine of 50 degrees. Okay, we're going to do similar to for number 3. So it's sine times cosine. So 42, that's going to be the u, 18 will be the v. So sine u times cosine v plus cosine u times sine v. So let's see, we need sine cosine plus sine cosine plus cosine sine. Okay, so this time it's going to be that first one. So it's the sine of u plus v. So sine of u plus v. So that would be the sine of 60 degrees. So that's part of it. Right as one trig function. Okay, so we did that. Sine of 60 degrees. Then find the exact value. Well, sine of 60 degrees is root 3 over 2. Okay, so there's the condensed version, or written as one trig expression, and then the exact value. So I just went to my unit table, sine of 60 degrees. Okay, we're going to stop this recording here, and then I'll come back with the second recording, and we'll look at example 4.